G'day guys, welcome to a really cold and miserable Friday afternoon here in Melbourne town. It is raining, it is cold, and our boys are travelling over to the west. And I don't know about the weather over there, but it's going to be 17, I think, with 40% chance of rain. So maybe just a fraction warmer. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I want it to be dry. I really do. I don't know. I just want it to be dry. I don't know if I want this game to be a grind. I feel the pressure building. Pressure. Can't perform the Storm at the moment. Friday, there's a lot of footy to be played before Sunday, 4:40. It could be potentially, with the live ladder, be sitting in 8th position if results, dictate this round and some teams get up. Yeah, it's fucking huge. It is such a big game for our football club. And I don't think we're going to be relaxed. And I don't feel relaxed in any games, to be perfectly honest. But this one has a fair bit of mayo on it. Given all the scenarios for us. And we've had such a really positive year so far, really positive year. We've been playing reasonable football over the last month or so, but not getting the job done. So are we as a football club and a football team just starting to feel the pressure as well? There's no doubt, last week against the Saints, we didn't appear to handle the occasion as well as we probably should have. The same in the Collingwood game, the same in the Richmond game. Thinking now back to that Essendon game as well. It was great to get the 4 points there. I mean, they're starting to just find a little bit at the moment. And there's no doubt that the Eagles are starting to find a fair bit as well. They've got some key personnel back and they're in that mentality mode. And it's a sort of dangerous mentality mode that they've got nothing to lose. They want to put a dent on our finals aspirations. They've only had 2 wins for the season. They want to get another one. And you look at it, they're in 17th position on the ladder with a dreadful percentage. But you can't go away from the fact that last week they pretty much pushed Richmond right to the line. They were a little bit unlucky in that game. They got the job done against Essendon the week before, where they kicked over 100 points, and they pushed Geelong as well at Optus Stadium. So they are in good form. And as mentioned, they've got some players back. And they've been dreadful this year. There's no doubt about that. They've been dreadful, but they're well coached. And the big one, there's no doubt the big one is Nick Nat-Nui in the ruck. And given our inconsistency through the midfield over the last 4 to 5 weeks, particularly since the bye, that really we've only had one big win from that area of the ground, and that was against Fremantle, and we really did still find it difficult to score in that game. We only kicked the 81 points, and it has dried up a little bit. Forward to centre, it has dried up. And whether we have compensated with our lack of personnel down back, that our smalls, our high half forwards, our wingers, and even our midfielders have been really pushing back to assist our defence, has stopped our ability to score. We're just going to have to wait now because we've got Wiedering back. We've got the pillar back. We've got the big guy back. He's going to be probably a little bit rusty, but he should be fresh. And it's great to have him back. We just feel a lot safer with him in there. And I think we should be wrapped. We really should be wrapped that Young and Kemp have been able to hold up somewhat in a really difficult time. But getting Wiedering back there does straighten us up. And I know that's a term generally used for the front half of the game, but he is the general. And Josh Kennedy looms, the veteran for the Eagles. He's had a week off, comes back in, and we just need Weeders to lock down on him. We really do, and to get the job done. Nick Nat's the worry, though. He is the worry. But let's go back, though. Let's try and go back to when TDK, and he probably would have been only about 19 years of age, first got his opportunity in the ruck. He was thrown into the ruck in our only visit to Optus Stadium against the Eagles in a really close game when the Eagles were really strong, and he performed really well, valiantly. In fact, against Nick Nat, particularly at the centre bounces, because he has that ability to jump, and hopefully he can nullify Nick Nat at the centre bounce, because I think that's the area of the ground that we really have struggled, the centre bounce, and we have been inconsistent. And if you look at the midfield, and there's no doubt to me that the Eagles, they've got some strength in there, but they're not at the top of their game. And can we let the shackles off just a little bit in this game? So can our wingers just hold their ground a little bit more? Can our high half forwards, hold their ground a little bit more? Can we get a little bit more drive from our half-back flankers who've been terrific? Doherty, Sard, Newman, been great defensively, but can we get a little bit more spread and a little bit more run from them? Because, I don't know, it just feels like that it's dried up a little bit in our front half, and it's a little bit all duck and no dinner. If Big Charlie and Big Harry don't score the goals, then where do they come from? We look at the ins and outs, and they're bloody interesting for both teams. I'll start with the Eagles. They get Witherden back. He's been named on an extended bench. He's the guy they like to put the ball in the hands of and give him a little bit of run. So does he play? They've got the youngster, the mid-season draft, Jai Cully, named on the extended bench. Does he play? Question marks on whether he does or not. But the big one, obviously, is Josh Kennedy. And they've got some big outs. Elliot Yeo hasn't been in terrific form. Did his hammy last week, so he's out. And also Connor West, a real hard nut. And been a bit of a mainstay for them, even in the tough times this year. So they'll lose his ability to get really down and dirty for the West Coast Eagles. For us, unlucky for Kemp. I think we would have all liked to have seen him, get a few more opportunities. But this is a big game. This is a really big game, and I think we're going to go a little bit safer with, and I suppose it was going to be, Wedering coming back in, it was going to be out of Lockie Plowman and Brody Kemp, and I just think Lockie Plowman's flexibility, whether he is long-term the solution in our back half, but he can play that role, and he'll need to play a really important role, because the strength of the Eagles is not so much Kennedy and Darling, who can be a real handful, but we think we should have those guys covered if Wiedering's at the top of his game, and Young plays a really good role. But you look at Cripps, you look at Willie Rioli, you look at Liam Ryan, they're dangerous players. Jake Waterman as well, as that sort of hit-up, sort of mobile tall as well. So Plowman will be important. He will be important as that defender who can lock down, to release the likes of Sard, Newman and Doherty. Owi's straight back into the team, so they must rate him. He's had a couple of weeks out with a calf injury. He just comes straight back in to the selected lineup. And it's been an area which we have struggled with our small forwards, even though Motlop hit the scoreboard last week. Can he replicate that? We're not for 1 minute thinking that Motlop's going to come out and kick another 3 goals. But he is quick and he is dangerous, and he can cause some headaches for that Eagles defence. So it's great to see him back. Well, not back into the team, but keep his spot. So you look at our interchange from, and we're not going to know until tonight about this interchange from. And is it about balance? We've generally gone with the 3 smalls in our front half. So it's out of Honey and Corey Durden. You'd think Honey's the one in trouble. So Durden remains. That is Corey. But he's going to have to find some form, Corey Durden. Fisher remains. He has to remain. He's been in too good form not to be in the team. Gives us some zip in that midfield. Chera, poor game last week, so the pressure is really on him to perform. Came in, looked underdone. Is there a concern with his knee? Is interesting. But if he's fit, he plays. So that's Chera, Fisher and Corey Durden. And as far as I'm concerned, you nearly throw a blanket over the rest of them. Have we got enough coverage down back is the question I want to ask to you guys. And just looking in that lineup, is there a question mark on one of our talls down back? Obviously, Wiedering coming back in, but they're saying he's ready to go. Is there a concern with Lewis Young? Is he sore? He's played a lot of footy this year. So Sam Durden, is he coverage to come in? Is there a laid out? Or is Durden considered another person to come into that game on the bench? Possibly. So we've got Fisher, Durden, Chera. I'm going to go Will Hayes. I think our spread has been really ordinary. I think it's going to be important on that big game, on that big round, which will leave probably Will Setterfield, Jack Nunes to be the sub. Probably Jack Nunes. What do you guys think? Are you worried? We should be going in with a lot of confidence to this game. We really should be. But are we up for the occasion? It's the big question mark. I think there's a lot of question marks still on us. I think we're okay physically. There's no excuses physically, and there shouldn't be any excuses mentally and emotionally as well. But this game reeks of everyone playing their role, but our leaders really, really need to step up. Walsh, Cripps, Doherty, Newman, Wiedering, the list goes on. Silvani. It's going to be a huge game. Can't wait for the tussle between Harry and Barras. Think it should be an absolute beauty. I'm not quite sure who will take Charlie. He could be one that gets under the guard. And, yeah, but I do think they hold the edge in the ruck. And if they're able to really dominate that part of the ground and Nick Nat's okay, then I'll tell you what, you know, the likes of Tim Kelly, who was really good last week, really good. Luke Shuey, you know, Andrew Gaff, Jack Redden, they could have a field day. Looking forward to this one. Very, very excited to see how this one pans out. Let us know how you feel in the comments below. Speak to you soon.